again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with a continuation, part 4 of the C2C Kaleidoscope blanket. Yep. And today we are going to be working on the third tier. Last time we did these sort of dark blackish triangles here. Now we're going to work another tier on top of that on this jagged edge here. And we're going to switch gears and we're going to go into the antique white to make things a little bit easier to see. Now, what we're going to do is, again, like we did at the end of the last video, we're going to do an entire round of just one color. That way, the overall appearance will look a little bit neater. So I'm going to start in this corner here. This is essentially the same thing that we did at the end of the last video. We're starting in one of the corners with our new yarn. And now this is a horizontal block. So I'm going to be doing a vertical block on top of it. Now, like we did the last time, we're going to start by chaining up 3 for our first double crochet, and then add 2 double crochets to that. Like so. There we are. And then chain 3 and anchor to the bottom. Now we are going to need a total of 5 doubles. The 5th one we will add at the very end of this round. So there you go, that's our 4 doubles, and then going to proceed in the usual fashion. So going to go from here directly down to this loop with 3 doubles, a chain 3 and an anchor, etc., etc., etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the rest of this round off camera. If you need a recap, go back to part 3. And yeah, so I'm going to just whirl my way around, and I'll meet back up with you when we're ready to start in on our stripes. Yes, we're going to do stripes today. So I'm going to get to work, you get to work, and I'll meet back up with you. Alrighty. Okay, so I'm almost done with this initial round, and then we're going to start in with building up the tier, and we're going to make some stripes, as I've said. So just have to do a couple more, chaining up of 3 doubles, and then a slip stitch join. Now, as I've said before, you can really do whatever you want with whatever colors and however many, rows or rounds or whatever color, the choice is ultimately up to you. Okay, if you want to follow along, hey, great. If not, hey, great. That's totally cool. I want you to make this project your own and something special. Freedom of choice of what you do is part of the fun with these projects. Customization and tweaking things. If it wasn't for tweaking things, I wouldn't have come up with this particular design in the first place, right? All right, so we've got this last one. I just need to join it to the corner right into here. And then we need the 5th double. So chain up 3 and then slip stitch right up into here. Okay, so now at this point, we're going to be working on this side right here, and we're going to build up the rows. Now, because this is a jagged edge, all right, we're going to be working back and forth in rows. It's the smooth edges where we start at the middle and we work in sort of an upside down V formation. But because this is a jagged edge, yes, we're going to go back and forth in rows for a bit. We're not going to do the entire triangle because we want to incorporate a sort of stripiness, going on. If that makes sense, If it doesn't, well, maybe it will in a little bit. So from here, we're going to flip the work. And the one thing about doing blanket projects is, you know, the bigger it gets, the harder it is for me to finagle and fiddle with the project. But, you know, we're troopers. We're going to do what we can, right? You know, if you are patient with me, I will try to accommodate you guys. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up these gaps going this way. So going to do a chaining up of 3 and then work into this bar here with 3 doubles. There we go. And then do our slip stitch join, chain up 3, 3 doubles around this bar, and then slip stitch join. And we're going to do this all the way to the end. And we're going to do a couple of rows like this. Now, it really depends on how thick or wide you want this white stripe to be. Well, for me, it's white. You know, it could be rather thin and skinny, or it could be fairly wide. Totally up to you. You know, I figure I'll do a couple of these rows in the white, and then I'm going to swap off to probably the green. You know, as I said initially, when I started this crochet along series, that I liked the idea of doing 3 colors because you have a very nice range of contrast going on, and you can do a lot with a little, which I rather like. You know, if you have more than 3 colors, and I'm sure that some of you might, right now might be a good opportunity to introduce a bunch of new colors. You know, however you want to do it. Okay. And the other thing is, the bigger the project gets, the longer each section takes, but that's okay. I like spending time with you guys. And some of you actually like to hear me kibitz and yammer yammer and jibber jabber and all that fun stuff. There we go. Okay, just a couple more. Right now I'm having some Rocky Road flavored hot cocoa that I got for Christmas. So good. This is definitely a hot cocoa kind of an evening. Okay, just a few more. And then we can do our turning, and the decrease will become more apparent with every subsequent row. There we go. And join. Okay, so this is the last one. Alrighty, now that we've reached the end here, going to slip stitch to join, and then chain 3 and get back to this point here. So first, chain 3, and then turn the work. Okay, so from here, quite simply going to slip stitch into this space right here, chain up 3, and then do the exact same thing across this row. And so I'm going to do a couple of rows, and then we'll swap off to another color, and then continue on until we finish up this triangle of the new tier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep working, and when I'm ready to change colors, I'll meet back up with you. Alrighty, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so I'm almost done with the 4th row, including the rounds that we did initially. See, 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is the last one that I'm going to work in the antique white. So I'm just going to finish up this last little block here. Chain up 3, and then 3 doubles. Like so. There we go. And then do my slip stitch. And very important, still do the chaining of 3. And the slip stitch. Now, that last step is very important. Yeah, it is. May not seem like it, but the reason why is because we are going to need this loop, just like these other loops, to work within on the next tier, okay? So I can now cut this yarn, snip, snip, pull out my loop here, and then we're going to work with the green. Very, very simple and straightforward. So right now, I would say from here on, it's really not so much about the technique, because I've showed you this sort of thing before, but it's about how we manipulate the color usage. So from here, now that we are the right side facing, and we have our new yarn, we're going to work in this loop here, and pull up our new yarn, do a chaining of 3, 3 doubles, okay, one more, and do my slip stitch join, chaining up of 3, 3 doubles, slip stitch join, etc., etc., etc. And basically we're going to be following suit with the rest of the rows. Keep decreasing every row and bring it up to the proverbial point, if you will. I'm not going to change colors again, I don't think. I could, but I don't think I'm going to, because I didn't in my initial project. So I think I'm just going to have 2 stripes. And then, ultimately, I'm going to show you how you can flesh out those stripes so that they are joined and complete, and that is going to happen in the next tier, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little time machine on you guys, and I'm going to get some work done off camera. And I shall continue on. That way we can move right along footloose and fancy free like the Muppets do, and proceed at a a brisk pace, if you will. You know, I like to be thorough, but I also like to move it along. Okay, and a couple more. Just a few more. But yeah, basically what we're doing right now is, in essence, the same thing that we did when we created these green triangles down here. You just keep decreasing, decreasing, decreasing. And that was the first tier that we created. It's the exact same method. You know, every row gets a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller until you only have one square left, one little block left. And then, oh, you do it again on the other 3 sides. Okie dokie. One more. Okay, then slip stitch, chain 3, and turn. There we go. And slip stitch, chain up 3, 3 doubles, and a slip stitch, and so on and so forth. So yes, like I said, I'm going to finish up the rest of these green rows, back, forth, until we have come to a point. And then, in essence, I'm going to do the same thing with this side and the third side, and just keep at it until all 4 sides are the same. So when you're doing this side here, you're going to want to add 3 additional rows so that we have the total of 4, and then do the rest in your secondary color. Granted, like I've said before, you can change colors as often as you want to. If you want to follow along, that's fine too. Whatever it is that you choose to do, that is your choice. But this is what I'm doing. If you want to follow along, more power to you. Enough of my yammer-yammering. I'm going to get to work. You guys have to get to work too. And I will meet back up with you for the next bit. Alrighty, see you shortly. Hello again. Alright, so I finished up this particular triangle here. I just kept decreasing until we reached the point with the green here. And then I went ahead and I did the same thing with this point and this point and this point. Yes, so all of the edges now look like this. Actually, let me back it on up just a wee bit so you can get a better idea of what it is that we are working with. And there we go. All right, so from here, what we need to do in order to create the stripes that I aforementioned, basically, because we're working with a straight, flat, smooth edge, we're going to be starting in the center and working our way, sort of leapfrogging back and forth, doing sort of the upside down, top down sort of shawl formation, much like we did, where was it, with this black triangle that we did, because we started from the center and we sort of do, and we're going to do the same sort of thing. So in order to flesh out the stripes, we're going to start with the white and then go in with the green. Now that is, of course, if you want to follow suit with, the idea of stripes. So let's get to it. Okay, so since this middle block is vertical, we're going to start with a horizontal. If, however, it was a horizontal, you would start with a vertical, either or. So start right in here, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, And because we need a horizontal block, we're going to chain up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Double into the 4th, and then the next 2. There. And there. Now this stitch is a little bit loose, so I can cinch this. There we go. And then anchor it down with a slip stitch. There we go. And then chain 3, scoot over to here. And again, even though it's white on white, I am still going to go into the actual stitch with a slip stitch and turn the work. Okay, from here, going to do a vertical block. So chain up 3, 3 doubles under the bar, okay, slip stitch, chain up 3, and again, we're going to need a total of 5. So I've got this 1, and then double 3, which gives us 4. The 5th one is going to be a chaining of 3 and a slip stitch at the base. Okay, then working underneath this bar down here, again, cinch that up. Underneath this bar, 3 doubles, chaining of 3, and slip stitch at the base to anchor it down. Chain 3, slip stitch into the stitch. There we go, and turn the work. Okay, from here, going to work underneath this bar here. So sort of turning our work this way, working 1 and 2 doubles. That chaining of 3 does count as one of them. So going to leave off there, do a chaining of 3, slip stitch join, then underneath this bar with 3 doubles, chain 3, and a slip stitch join. Okay, we've reached the middle, so we need another horizontal block, so chain up 6, double into the 4th, double into the next 2 chains, okay, slip stitch under the bar, there we go, and then we're going to work underneath this bar, and so forth. So chain up 3, excuse me, and then 3 doubles, okay, slip stitch join, chain up 3, 3 doubles. And if I'm not mistaken, this will be the last of the antique white that we're going to use. Still need to do a slip stitch join into that stitch. There we go. Now, take a bit of a look here. Yeah. All right, so I am going to, in fact, leave off here with the white. Now, the reason why, instead of going and filling in this concavity right here, is because if we leave off here, we have point, 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 point. We still have that jagged edge, which is sort of a continuance of what we started with. So it's at this point that we're going to stop with the antique white, and we're going to switch off to the green color. Okay, so let's snip our yarn. Ooh, I actually found my scissors. Isn't that remarkable? All right, and then snip and pull out my loop. And then we shall get started in with the green. Okay, so to get started with the green, I think I'm going to go about it in this way, where I'm going to go into that same stitch that we did the slip stitch for the white, go in and pull up my green yarn, get my tails out of the way, chain 3, then slip stitch over here, there we are, and turn my work. Okay, again, get these tails out of the way. Okay, and now we need a vertical block right here, so chain up 3. Three doubles underneath the green bar. Slip stitch join underneath here, chain up 3, 3 doubles underneath this bar, slip stitch join, chain up 3, 3 doubles underneath this bar. And one more. So slip stitch join, chain up 3, and then we need a total of 4, and then the 5th will be on the way down. So I just did 3 doubles. The chaining of 3 counts as a double. So from here, chain 3, slip stitch join to the base, and that counts as our 5th. And then going to work our way down this way with 3 doubles. So yeah, this is going to be, I think this is the 4th or 5th tier? My goodness. We have made some significant progress. And then after we're done with this tier, I think I might show you how to do triangles within a triangle. I really like how it came out on my example piece. So it's sort of like a triangle with a border around it. Okay, got my chain 3, slip stitch down to there, and then we got to do one more. So from here, 3 doubles underneath this bar at the base. Chain 3 and slip stitch. Okay, and then scooting right along this green edge, chain 3, find the stitch to go into right in there with a slip stitch. There we go, and turn the work. Now, going to keep on keeping on in the same fashion. Now, what you want to keep in mind is similar to what I showed you before regarding these white blocks. See, after we did, let me scooch my camera here, pardon me. See, the white blocks, it has sort of a seamless look because it's still got that sort of jagged sawtooth edge, and it is uniform. Now, as far as the rest of this green triangle that we're going to be forming here, what you need to keep in mind is to perpetuate the illusion, you're not going to work this last divot that's going to be here. You'll have a block built up from here, okay. I'll show you when the time comes, but we're going to go to the point where this will be the last block that we work up from, and then on this side, this will be the last block, and then you will have this as one of the points, just like we have these points here. This will be the last point sticking out. So you're only going to work this block and this block. You're not actually going to work this block in the very, very corner bit. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on working the green just as we have been, nothing new. And I will meet back up with you when I'm done with this triangle. And then that will be the end of this tier. All right, I'll see you in a bit. Okie dokie, so I've been working along with the green yarn, and I am up to the last row. Finished my row here, just have to do this last one here, and then gonna leave this little guy alone, this little piggy, gonna leave him alone, so that we continue with sort of the sawtooth edge, for lack of a better term. However you want to call it, it has a wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey edge to it. So from here, I'm going to chain my 3 as per usual. There we go. And then do my slip stitch into the stitch. There we are. Turn the work, which is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then, because my slip stitch is here, and then we have the bar over here, which means I need to turn and work into that bar for the next block with 2 doubles, because that initial chaining of 3 does count. And then chain 3, slip stitch, join, and then 3 doubles into here, a chain 3, and a slip stitch, join. Now, if I do that, I can show you a little bit better what I was talking about. Pull that out. All right. So if you put it at an angle here, you can see that the sawtooth edge goes all the way to the very end there. And so I'm going to keep working this row all the way to the other side, ending with a block ending in this little divot right here, and then going to finish up, doing my slip stitch and so forth. And then this entire this entire section of this tier will be finished. And as for this side, my last block on this side will be this block here, like I explained before, and that is how I'm going to continue on with the remaining 3 sides to complete this tier set. Alrighty? Alrighty. Well, I'm going to get to work off camera, and I will see you in a bit. Hello again. All right, so I've been stitching, and I finished the other 3 triangles as well. So as you can see, all of my edges go all the way around with the green stripe and the white stripe, and it is looking marvelous. Yes, simply marvelous. Actually, gonna back this up a little bit. Give you sort of a surround, not quite surround sound, but a panoramic, if you will, of what we have accomplished. Very, very, very happy. And there we go. Now, keeping in mind that the entire edge that we are working with has this sort of sawtooth edge to it, and each corner has just 1 block, whether it is a horizontal block or a vertical block. They alternate. And so that is what you're going to end up with after finishing your 4th tier. If you've gotten this far, congratulations. Give yourself a pat on the back. You deserve it. However, we are not done yet. Nope. We are not done yet with this crochet along, because next up, what I want to show you is for the next tier, I want to show you how to create a triangle within a triangle. And it's really not difficult. It's just a matter of fiddling and finagling with how we manipulate the colors. And yes, I like to be thorough, so I'm going to walk you through that in the next part of this crochet along series. So as always, really want to thank you guys for joining me. I hope that you're liking this series as much as I am. And if you are, please give a little thumbs up button down below. You know that I appreciate your appreciation. And also, thank you so much. All of your comments have been so lovely. Thank you. And you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please, stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.